Hey, hello, hello. Hi. All right. We're about to have a good call today. Go ahead and pull out your pen and your paper. I'm excited. This is going to be a great call, great opportunity for you to really grow and expand and grow and expand and grow and expand and grow and grow and expand and expand. So I want you to do me a favor. Go ahead and share this feed with some of your money friends, some of your investor friends that you know are not playing games when it comes to getting all the way deep in their bag and not wanting to miss opportunities, right? The opportunity we're talking about tonight, literally for real, and I'm not just saying this, it for real can change everything. Because when you start talking about grant money that does not have to be paid back, child, that's like reparations all day. And if you do the right things with it and you beautify these properties, it really can set you up to have a ton of success. So I want you to go ahead and do me a favor and share this feed with other people. Again, all your money friends, all your money investors, anybody that you think has ever wanted to get into real estate. I want you to go ahead and share this feed with them. Shoot them a text message right now. Tell them to jump on, because I think this conversation, it can potentially really change everything. And everything is about timing. Everything is about positioning. Everything is about action, right? And execution, Ronald. That's what it's all about. Okay. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead because I love to pray. I believe that prayer is the secret sauce to all success, right? So, Father, I thank you, Lord, right now for these precious, amazing people that are logging on from all over the world, and particularly the United States of America. I thank you for these opportunities that you've given us. I thank you that we have ears to hear what the Spirit of the Lord has to say. I thank you that we have eyes to see your plan and what you're doing. God, I thank you that you're always keeping us 5 steps ahead, 10 steps ahead. I thank you for the spirit of execution. I thank you for the spirit of action. I thank you for the anointing to seize the moment, seize the time, run through the door, and maximize this season of our lives. And Father, I thank you, Lord, now for these things. I send the angels of acquisition. I send the angels of accumulation to go before us and bring together all the perfect deals right now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So listen, again, share this feed with somebody. Text somebody, tell them jump on here, because we're about to have a really good conversation that's going to change everything. I'm going to bring on Shatava. But before I do that, I want to say this. Everything is about timing. You know, when I look over my life and I look at God how God is gifted. All of us have different gifts, right? And I've learned that God has gifted me to know when to enter into an asset class, enter into a market, enter into an industry, and then also have had the gift to know when it's time to exit out of an asset class, or pivot in the asset class, should I say, or exit out of a territory, or exit out of an industry. That has just been my grace gift when I look back over my life. And so when I partnered and reached out to my girlfriend, who you're going to have an opportunity to hear from, and she told me what she was doing, it was interesting to me that she was investing heavy in the city of Detroit, buying and flipping and buying and holding. And then I was investing heavy in the city of Detroit, buying and flipping and buying and holding. And then she started talking to me about grants and how there are these grants that are available. And I'm telling you, I didn't have to pray about it. I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to fast. I didn't have to ask really a whole lot of questions. I knew instinctively that I needed to move. I knew instinctively that I needed to submit. I knew instinctively that I needed to trust her. And that's what happens with your financial instinct. God gives everybody financial instincts. The thing is, sometimes we don't listen to it, right? We talk ourselves out of something opposed to talking ourselves into it. But I knew instinctively, before I had all the T's crossed and before I had all the I's dotted, I just knew everything in me was saying run and run now. And so when I look back, when I made my first million, I owned a Nextel franchise in the city of Detroit. And it was me looking for a job. I got a headhunter that was looking for a job for me or whatever. And I remember going to interview with them. And they hired me as a salesperson, and I loved it. And I made a lot of money, and I had a lot of favor, and I sold a lot of phones, and I won a lot of trips and bonuses and bop, 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 wooty woo. And then over time, I had another opportunity to leave to start my own. So that was another pivot. I knew it was time. I knew it was time for me to go from being a salesperson to being an owner. Then I remember when I met my husband, I knew instinctively that that was my man. Right? I knew it. I just knew it. He knew it. I knew it. Everything was lining up. And so when I look over my life, I can always see these major points in my life where I just knew something. I believe those of you that are on here tonight, Ronald, you're going to just know. You're going to just know. You might have a couple questions. You might have, a couple things that you got to do, but something in you is going to say, I got to take advantage of this. And reparations, especially if you're a person of color, that's been a big thing, right? And so now we have an opportunity to get money that we don't have to pay back. Like, pay attention. Please pay attention. Don't put your head in the sand. Don't be that person that's skeptical, because some people are so skeptical of everything, Carolyn, that they end up doing nothing, or they end up doing some things, but they end up missing stuff, Stephanie, because they don't know the power of now. And so I'm going to bring Shatava on right now because we're going to get into this conversation, and I want you guys to have an opportunity. Hey, girl.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You look beautiful. I'm excited you're on here tonight. Girl, we have this door of grants that's open right now. I cannot even say how excited I am.
Yes.
And I really am hoping that people don't miss the moment, because one right decision can change everything.
Yes. It's the power of the moment, right? It's the not waiting. It's the understanding the need. Okay. All of us have gone through this, and I'm not sure about who's the audience, but my name is Shatava. I've been a grant writer for about 15 years. I've written grant for large companies, proposals and grants for large companies. And I decided, like, why am I doing this? I'm making so much money for these large companies. Let me invest in myself and see what's out there for me. So I've been investing in Detroit since pre-COVID. We mass purchased homes during COVID. And then we thought, where are we going to get the money to renovate these houses? I mean, we spent so much of our own money. We have depleted loans. I mean, just everything in one, hiring contractors, being able to afford the contractors, not even that, but going from start to finish. And as you guys know, with these homes in Michigan, they need a lot of work. We're not talking about a small, they need a lot of work. So just the funding to get those houses to be completed. So I just started to look for grants, and, I've been doing this for years. I said, I know it's something out there. And that's when I came across this grant. So the reason why I'm able to tell you is because I myself am a grant recipient. I have received this grant. I am currently working on a 4-unit in Michigan with this grant. And when I tell you, it has changed my whole aspect of just funding, just there's money available and out there. If you just having the resources and the knowledge and moving the action. When I found out about it, I did not stop. I ran to get this opportunity. And this, just like with us, we just got to know when it's a good opportunity. We just really need to jump on it, because if we don't, someone else will.
That's it. If we don't jump on these grants right now, somebody else will. This particular grant is for revitalization. If you own a property in the city of Detroit and it's empty,
yes,
they're going to give you up to $100,000 of rehab. If you own a property and you're renting it out, they're going to give you up to $40,000 to rehab that. I mean, that is like, and that's like Christmas in March for an investor, because investors always need more money to revitalize, to upgrade, to do all those things. And let's just say you've already done some upgrading. I mean, honestly, if you get more money to upgrade it more, you can increase your rent income that you're asking for. If you want to put it back on the market, she'll talk to you about what that needs to look like. But upgrades are just always an option, always in order. New counters, new sinks, new granite, new tile, new hardwood. I mean, it's just always in order to be able to do that. And I don't want people to really miss this, Angela. Hey, girl. Hey, Carolyn, Stephanie, all of you on here. I don't want people to miss this, because, again, $100,000 once can change everything. $100,000 3 times can change everything if you're smart about it and you do the right things with it. And you've been writing grants for years. You're not new to this. This is what you do. you know the language, you know what they're looking for, you know all the details. And so I know we did our first round of grants that got submitted last week. Yay, mine included. I'm so grateful
Yes,
for
yes,
that. You know, and so we just want to move with urgency right now, because
yes,
anytime you hear a city saying we're allocating this, we're distributing it, everything is a season, everything is a window, everything is a time. So this is not the time to drag your feet. Now, these grants, Shatava, are for people who already own the property. If
yes.
you're looking to buy a property, we can help you with that too. And there may, you know, I would anticipate there'll still be money available. But for those of you that own properties right now, this does not need to be an option. So talk about how, you know, it's not hard for you because it's a lot of work, but talk about what that process is. If somebody owns a property right now and it's empty, or somebody owns a property right now and they have a tenant in it in the state of Michigan only. There are
Yes.
grants that are offered all over the country, but we specifically are talking about grants anywhere in the state of Michigan. So that could be Roseville, Grosse Pointe, Canton, Flint, Pontiac, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so the state of Michigan has allocated $40.8 million to housing development. That means if you own a single family home, a multifamily home, two family, they're offering up to $100,000 per unit. So if you own your home, if you have your business, if you have the deed to that home, you are eligible for this grant. Now, I'll talk to you about the process. So from the time you apply to the time that funds are allocated to you, it's about a 4.5-month process. And I'll talk about mine in particular. I applied last year, April the 12th. On June the 14th, I received notification that they're reviewing my application and they needed additional documents from me. From there, in August the 24th is when I received notification that funds have been reserved for me. So between April to August, submitting documentation, I submitted a total of about 25 documents for this grant. And when I tell you, you have to be very detailed on the things that have to go into this grant so that you can get funding. You have to know your scope of work. You need to own your home. Just different things like that is so important to make sure you're qualified for the grant.
Yeah, that's good. To make sure you qualify for that grant. And you know, one of the reasons that I got in real estate, one of the reasons that Shatava got in real estate, and I was talking to a good friend of mine who does about probably 6 figures a month in network marketing, which I've done millions of dollars in network marketing, and I'm very grateful for it. But anytime you have to show up to make money, that's what they call active income. Mm-hmm. And when I did network marketing and I was blessed to make that kind of money, I said, my next move is going to really be focusing on real estate, because I wanted rental income to come in without me thinking about it, because people are always going to need a place to stay. So guess what? It was the first of the month. So money hit on the first. I had rent hit Friday. I had more rent hit today. Shatava, you're experiencing the same thing. It is probably one of the smartest financial moves that anybody could ever do, Nicole, and that set yourself up to own property, not just flip it. Flip it is good because you hit a lick. But if you really want to develop wealth, you need to be thinking buying, holding, putting tenants in, and then the grants is the icing on the doggone cake. So talk about why you decided to go so hard. You've been in clothing, boutique, and you still are in clothing, but why you decided to just put such a focus on real estate. And I think everybody should be putting a focus on real estate.
Yeah. So, you know, I've had various businesses in the past. Like you said, I met you at one of my clothing boutiques in Nashville, but I really look to create generational wealth. When you're talking about generational wealth, you're talking about real estate. You're talking about having that tenant in there that's going to pay your rent every single month. And that's money coming in every month. You're out. That money is hitting your account. Also, one thing that this grant is going to be really good for, one, is giving you up to $100,000, but just putting that money into your home and the equity. Just imagine the equity. You're putting in new floors, you're putting in new windows, you're putting in a new roof, you're doing things in your bathroom like adding tile, you're redoing your plumbing. Things like that bring your property value all the way up. So one, you're going to get a tenant in there. to rent out that property. And two, your equity is going to go through the roof because you spent that. The government has funded you for that home. So you're going to do nothing but create equity for the home because you're putting that money into the home.
That is so amazing, Shatava. And so I think, and I want to break this down again because this is important. My girlfriend Natea is on here. You'll meet her. She's out of Jersey and she's investing heavy in the city of Detroit now. You can get property with lending, okay? And I've done it. You've done it. But I want everybody to really paint a picture because some of you have never received $100,000 free and clear from somebody. I know I haven't, not that I haven't worked for, okay? So to have that kind of cash flow come into your hand to put you into a position to make sure that your property is 100%. And this is the other thing I want to say. They are not paying the contractors. They are paying you as the landlord. So if you decide, bruh, I'm about to lay this bad boy out. I'm going to call my cousins and them. I'm going to call with that wooty woo. We're going to paint. We're going to make it nice. I'm going to use the granite company to throw in the cat. I'm going to cut cost, but I'm going to lay it out. So when they come through and do it, and especially they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you really beautified this. Now when it's time to go to the next project, guess what? You already approved before you got started because they know if Shanita did this, if Valerie did this, if Nicole did this, if Nicole's asking for money, I know what she did on her last property. If Shanita asking for this, I know what Shanita did on her last property. So Nate definitely got a yes. So the grants also, not only will you be easier to get approved, but they'll go up in the amount that they give you.
Exactly. So they put you in tiers, right? So 0 to 2 grants. If you've never received a grant before, to 2 grants, you can have up to 100,000 per unit. It goes from beginner to intermediate. Intermediate is when you've received 3 to 4 grants. So that just goes to show you the better you are, when you apply, the first time you apply and you're meeting your obligations, you're given a scope of work, you're saying, okay, I'm going to finish that roof. I'm going to do this. They're going to give you the funding for it. Once you finish that project, it's going to be easier for you to get the next grant and the next grant, because we know that there's an affordable housing shortage, especially in Michigan. We see all over the news that we need more affordable housing. We need more. They want you to have your home as an affordable home. It's going to look good for the state of Michigan to say, we have these many affordable homes in our state. There is a void. This is why they're issuing this grant. This is why this grant money is there, so that they can create these affordable houses, and then they can grow the inventory of affordable housing.
Oh, girl, that is so powerful. I really, my prayer is, and I know you and I both talked about this. Our prayer is that people will really understand how powerful this is.
Yes.
$100,000 can change your life.
It changed everything. When I say it's something about spending your own dollars. Like I said, we mass purchased homes during COVID. We have depleted, savings. We have done everything. We are trying our best to get loans and to get notified that you have been awarded by the state of Michigan a grant for 100, just the relief. I'm talking about a level of stress in trying to find funding for these projects, and just the relief of saying, oh my God, somebody has heard, God, you have heard me. There is somebody out there really looking out for me. So just my mindset during that point, understanding that one, there's a grant that's out here that really can help me, not only with this house, with my next house and my next house, because I fulfilled my obligation. I am working through my rehab right now. And then from there, I'm getting another one and I'm applying again and again. And just a disproportion of our people that are getting access to these grants. I'm telling you, if you do not apply, someone else will apply and they will be issued the grant, because they do have homes in Detroit, in the state of Michigan, that needs to be renovated. So if you don't apply, someone else will.
Yeah, and that's the thing that it's so important. Nate asked, how long is the process?
So the process is about 4.5 months. Remember, I told you I applied in April of 2024. By June, I received notification that they were reviewing my application and that they needed more documents. And then by August, I received notification that the funds were reserved for me. So between April to August, that took about 5.5 months.
Yeah. And it'd probably be a little faster because I know there was some stuff that was omitted.
Yeah, it was some things that I had to do on my side. The SAM.gov registration is so important. That's something that I talk to each individual about on our calls. It's so important to have a SAM.gov registration. And what that is it's just inventory. Your home or your business is doing business with the government. So every single time you receive a grant from a state, your business in SAM.gov is going to receive a notification. Anyone can search it. So if the state of Tennessee, the state of Georgia, the state of Michigan, whenever they search your company, they're saying that this company is receiving government funding for renovating homes. So if you ever go to Tennessee and you apply for a grant, they're going to see that you've been funded by the state of Michigan. So it's going to be easier for you to get that grant, not only in the state of Michigan over and over and over again, but if you decide you want to invest in another state, they're going to see that you've received government funding from another state. So it's going to be that much easy for you to get it in this state.
That is so good. So Nicole says she's selling her house. So like if somebody's on here that maybe you're renting an apartment right now, this would be a great time for you to say, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and grab me a duplex. I'm gonna go ahead and grab me a fourplex. I'm gonna move in one, rent out the other ones. Before I rent it out, I'm gonna apply for the $100,000, right? For each house, for each door. So now you're applying for $300,000. You staying in one. I mean, that is the possibilities of that is amazing. Not only can you do that, but you also can do it for land, new development, which is what another thing I'm doing as well, right? I got to wait for my approval on these couple ones that we've submitted. You've submitted for me last week, but I've got land. I got a bunch of tenants. I'm going for every single one. I'm just waiting for this approval. Then after that, it's on and popping. Somebody said, what if you have a current tenant, but the home is in need of renovation? Yeah, that's you, Leslie. That's $40,000. So you could apply for a $40,000 one. Now, let me tell you this. Shatava does a lot of work. She knows the language. She knows how to get you the approval. You technically could do it yourself. You could pay her, $700 to give you everything that you need, or you can do like I would say, I let her write mine for $3,600. It was more than worth it for you to write it for me because I'm not trying to. That's not my area. I want to stay focused on where my genius is. You just charge $3,600. If they need a website, $3,800, a one-page website to go with that. But you know exactly the language. You're going to meet with them one-on-one on a Zoom call to go over these things. All you need to do is own either a piece of land in Michigan, anywhere in Michigan, and or own a property that either has a tenant in it or, empty. Either way, she can apply for you and set you up to get a yes.
Yes. And I will say it's certain keywords. It's kind of like you're submitting your resume for a job, right? It's certain keywords and key things that they're looking for when applying for this grant. I've done this. I've won this grant. I know exactly what they're looking for. They have a score sheet on how they score your application. So I've already been in that. I've went through the round multiple times, so I understand what they're doing to score each application. So it's about 25 documents that have to be written, anywhere from your mission statement, your scope of work. There's so many things, so many details that you have to write for this grant, but it is so worth it's so worth it.
Girl, $100,000. I was like, take this credit card. Take this thing now, because for $100,000, I mean, you could have easily said I'm charging 10%, 15%, which actually we talked about you might do later, but right now it's just $3,600. So I'm like, take advantage of it, because there's something about now. Now somebody says, do you need to have a separate company or LLC?
You do need to have an LLC. Yes, you do.
Okay.
You need an LLC. You do need your EIN number. You do need those business documents. You have to be registered to do business in Michigan.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Somebody said my property is paid off. It doesn't matter if your property is paid off or if it has a mortgage on it. Doesn't
No,
matter.
it does not matter. You, as long as you need additional renovations. So, I mean, if you have linoleum on your floor and you want tile floors, if you have the older wood windows and you want to put the new windows, if you need to redo your plumbing, I had a 2-family where I had to dig up the entire backyard to redo my plumbing. There's funding out there for you to do that.
Yeah, that is really huge. And again, I want to emphasize this: $100,000 free and clear
Yes.
for anybody can change everything. But
Yes.
then at every door, your second door, your third door, you can ask for more money on that
Yes.
second door, more money on that third door, more money on that fourth door. I don't think there's a limit to how many doors that they will fund.
No, because they need affordable homes. So the more you show proof that you're fulfilling your obligation, the more you can apply and the more funds they'll allow you to have. So it's, let me see, let's get the number. Zero beginner is 0 to 2 grants up to 200,000. That's 100,000 per unit. Intermediate 3 to 4 grants. That's up to 400,000. Advanced, if you've received 5 grants.
Hold on. So once you get to your third and fourth property, on that third and fourth property, you could be applying for $200,000 per door.
Exactly. Once you get to the third and fourth, because again, you're presenting a scope of work. You're saying these are the things that I'm going to do with my property. I'm going to improve the landscape, and I'm going to do. As soon as you finish and fulfill that obligation, you apply again for another one. Once you get to that third one, you're at 200,000 per unit. Once you get to number 5, you can get up to $2 million. Now, I will tell you, it is multiple people that have won this grant that are at 5 or more grants. They're doing development projects. They're doing large-scale renovation projects, 8 units, apartment complexes. There are people who have done this over and over and over again.
So when they get up to number 5 and 6, I'm so excited. How much per door on 5 and 6, child?
It's so it's up to $2 million. So it just depends on what's allocated to. This is how much work that needs to be done on this one. This is how much work, but your cap is at $2 million for the entire unit. That could be an apartment complex because you've shown proof. So the first time you receive a grant, you're kind of a liability. They don't know your reputation. You're telling them that you're going to do these things. Once you fulfill that obligation, it's easy for you to get another one and another one. The biggest thing is getting in the door so that you can get that initial grant. Because once you get in the door, it's going to be easier for you to get that next one and that next one.
Ooh, child. Malika said, let's go, Shatava.
Malika, let's go.
Okay, so this is pretty huge. I hope everybody gets it. You have a duplex right now.
Yes.
You can apply for $200,000, $100,000 per door.
Yes.
You go on, you get approved for that. Now you're ready to go to your third and fourth door. The third and fourth door, you can apply for $200,000 per door.
Yes.
Yeah. And you still own the asset. And you still have the equity. And so if you were going to flip it, I would say don't hold it. Because that's how you really become wealthy. When you flip, you hit a lick.
Mm-hmm.
When that rent start coming in every single month on the 1st, on the 5th, on the 7th, I got different days where I got rent coming in. Every time I say, God, thank you. It never gets old. It makes me like, oh, I can't wait for my next close.
I love the first of the month. I love it. I actually look forward to. I remember growing up, living with my mom. We used to, oh my God, it's the first one. I love the beginning of the month. I thank God so much for making the decision that this is something that I want to do and sticking to it. And then just to receive those rent checks every month.
Because investing in real estate, Malika, I call you Malika, she on here, Shatava. We both know, we've had these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It is not easy.
Oh my God.
But if you can hold on.
Yes.
And stay in gratitude and keep imagining the best possible output. When
Yes.
you get on the other side, my God,
My,
today.
my God, today the contractors, all the contractors and dealing with plumbers and all, they say they're gonna be there on Thursday, and then Thursday the plumber, I don't know where yet. You know where yet? Because he ain't showed. You know, I mean, just
all the
I
things.
have done it. I have dealt with so much when it comes to renovating houses. But you know what? The light at the end of the tunnel. When they said, Shatava, those grant funds are reserved for you, my God, today.
That
It
part,
was a
yeah,
whole,
you did something for your tenants that I thought was so special. First of all, somebody said they have a property from the land bank.
that's fine.
And, whoop, huh?
You have that.
Girl,
You have that the land. You have a warranty deed. Once you sign with the land bank, they give you that warranty deed. It doesn't matter that the land bank has that lien on your home. My 4 unit is from the land bank.
girl,
It is
nine.
from
We
the
ain't
land bank.
talking about that,
That does not
child.
matter. Please,
Wow.
if you have a land bank home, because we know the position and what these land bank homes look like. Some of them, I mean, my 4 unit, you can pretty much blow on it, and the windows will,
Yeah. Okay, somebody asked about plumbing. It doesn't matter when she said your grant, you can use the grant for plumbing. You can use it, it don't matter, honey. You can use
Yeah,
it for plumbing, you can use it for electrical, you can use it for HVAC, you can use it for drywall, paint,
exactly.
electricity. Like it does not matter. The
No,
grant is for you to revitalize the property, period. In
exactly.
the story.
Exactly. So it's just your scope of work, what needs to be done on your home. It may not be the plumbing. You may be at the point where you're halfway in the middle of renovating your home and you've depleted your funds. And you need to do things like finish your bathroom. You need to finish your kitchen. You have an attic that you want to finish. You want to do some painting in your basement, things like that. It does not have to be ground up plumbing. For me, it was. For me, it was electrical. It was plumbing. It was drywall. It was everything. I wanted to add a porch on the back. I need a parking lot in the back. Things like that. Mine went from beginning to end. But if you're in the middle of your renovation process and you spent money already, that's okay. Just know that it's funding there to help you to finish your project and see it through. So if you
Okay.
almost done, because I've talked to people I'm almost done. I'm almost to the point where I can get a tenant in there. Yeah, but have you put tile on your floors? You got tile in your bathrooms? Do you have new windows? How about a new balcony on the back that's going to add so much value to your property, so much equity to your property? Those are the things that I'm talking about. So
You
even
better
if
talk
you've done
that
some
talk.
things, even if you've done some things already, just
Mm.
imagine this putting you to that limit, because we all know with our own personal funds, you're going to renovate up to a certain level. You're going to put linoleum, like me, you're going to put linoleum on the floor. Okay. You make sure the toilet, you're going to do what needs. But imagine just having access to funding where you're able to not just do what you can, but go above and beyond with those renovations to bring the equity to your home. That's what this is about.
And now you get an opportunity to lay that bad boy out like
Laying
you
out.
live in it and make sure. And that rent, you can also ask for a little bit more in rent because
Mhm.
it's so laid out. That is such a blessing. I'm so excited about one of the properties that we just submitted for. I mean, it's
Yes.
right in the middle of the inner city. But when people walk in that one bedroom, one bath, baby, I'm fenced to freak it out.
Exactly. And it's about changing the neighborhoods, changing, beautifying the neighborhood, making the neighborhoods better, because that's what we need. That's what Michigan needs. Michigan needs more people investing into the city that care about the neighborhood and really want to revitalize the neighborhood. I know where I am. I just want to see a change. I want to bring that. I want to bring the niceness to the neighborhood so they'll know that I can live like this too. I can live in something amazing. Like, I want my tenants to do that. And then for me, I know you're talking about what I do for my tenants. I give my tenants free rent for Christmas just because God has blessed me with this was the icing. The grant was the icing on the cake, but just what I've been through as far as trying and struggling. I will say to get these houses renovated. And the fact that I have a tenant that wants to rent out something that I put everything into, I am grateful for my tenants. I am grateful because I could have a home that I'm paying an electric bill for, that I'm paying all of the utilities for, but this tenant is here with me and hanging in there with me. So I reward them for that.
I just love that. And I think that's the other thing, Shatava, you and I have talked about this. We see it's a lot of slumlords in the city and probably inner city, period. The conditions that these people have lived in, you come into it, Nisha, and then you're like, okay, then like this one I found out, the lady did not have heat for the entire last winter. Her stove did not work. That was not on the scope of work of what I was planning on doing, but I had to come in. And then when I did the walkthrough, because I did the walkthrough myself with a couple contractors, we had no idea the thing had rats, roaches. So I had to get in there and pay for all kinds of pesticide to come out a couple times. I had to buy appliances because I'm like, I am not going to have her in there. This is somebody's mother, somebody's grandmother. She was having to take the bus to the west side, to further west, because this is on the west side, further west to be able to cook dinner at her daughter's. And I'm looking at this buyer that I bought it from, seemingly like nice guys, but I'm like, y'all done let your mama live like this? What are you doing? What are you doing? So nobody is going to care for our community.
They're not
like us. Nobody's going to care. And so, and I'm grateful DEI this is not impacted. This is not on a federal level. This is a state level, but we are going to have to be the ones to take care of our community like we know we should. And this grant is going to more than put you in a position to beautify it, do nice things like, hey, you're going to get this month free. All I'm asking you to do is maybe sign, another lease, whatever, or maybe everybody gets flowers. Maybe everybody gets, spring is coming up. Everybody might get a fruit basket. See, when you got money, when you got extra, when you got disposable income, now we can start talking about, because it don't cost a lot to send them a fruit basket just to say, like you said, thank you for being a good tenant. Those things go so far. Loyalty, and those tenants will end up being with you for years and years to come because they're like, when I call my landlord, they own it. I just had my housekeeper over on one of my properties. I had her clean all the common area, the steps, and everybody's door. I said, when they walk in, I want their doors to be white from you cleaning it, and I want this whole area to smell like Fabuloso. Hit the stairwells, hit the ledges, anything in the common area needs to be wiped down. I want them to know that I care about the property. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint it. I'm going to use a grant to paint the entire outside of all of my multifamilies. They'll all look the same with a nice sign. See, start thinking like that. There's so much more that you can do to beautify. So I want to encourage you guys. You see at the bottom, Camille also put in the comments here how you can schedule a one-on-one if you already own a property, or you can text grants to 615-802-7530. And again, this is if you already own a property in Michigan. Okay, you already own a property in Michigan that's non-occupied or occupied, either way. And you want a grant, Shatava can write it for you. For occupied, you can get up to $100,000. That's $3,800. That'll include your one-page website, unless you already have one. If you already have one, then it's $3,600. If you want to get the occupied with the tenant, that's $40,000 that you can get a grant, and she'll charge $2,800 for that. Just to help, because we don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste her time. This is a lot of work. And so I'm asking that you do not schedule an appointment unless you already own the property, either empty or not. Now, if you want to become an investor, reach out for that. You can DM Invest, and Shatava and I will help you find an off-market property, get it fixed up, get it back on the market with a property manager, or they're going to flip it or rather hold it or whatever. We can help you with that. But this specifically is about grants. Any last things you want to tell them?
I would just tell them that this is a great opportunity. This is a life-changing opportunity that you don't want to miss. If you're like me and you're renovating property, you need this grant. You have exhausted all of your funds. You need this grant. The money is available. They're going to award these dollars and it dispense these dollars until the funds run out. The funds are not out. They are still rewarding these dollars. So let's go ahead and apply. Okay. The faster you get on top of this, the faster they can review your application and push you through, the faster you can get to your next property and your next property. So let's not sit on this. Let's really think about the value of this and let's get on top of it.
Ooh, girl, I'm so excited. I would tell you, when she said she submitted all them grants last week, I was like,
I am for the win. I want my people to win. I am putting together the best. Listen, when I'm not on the phone, when I'm texting, and by the way, I will be with you throughout the entire process, throughout your entire grant process. I'm not just going to submit your application. No, I talk to my grant students like, hey, this is what's going on. What do you need? Ask me questions. I am so open and available to you because I want you to win this grant. Because again, it is life changing. So I'm going to be with you from the time we apply to the time they're going to ask for additional documents. I'm going to already have those documents prepared for you to the time that, hey, these funds are set aside for you. Once you get the check, it's like, oh my God, girl or guy. Okay, you have the money. So thank you. I'm just here to help. And I know I've done this. Like I said, I am a grant recipient. It's people that are writing grants that have never won the grant before. I have won this grant. I am so passionate about this, passionate about people. At least just apply, just try. You don't know until you try, right? So at least put that. You asked me a little bit. I'm sorry. I could go on and on. But I just want people to just believe in themselves and take that extra step to know that this could be for you too. Why not you?
This could be for you too. And we want it to be for you. We want to see more. The first round, I think there were only 9 people of color.
9
that were approved, only 9. That's way too low. This second round, there's going to be a lot more because of you and I.
Yes.
And you just got, the only thing I can tell you, move with urgency. Don't sit there and overthink this. Don't sit there and talk yourself down. Learn how to talk yourself into what if it does work? How can that change?
Yes.
I love how you gave them free rent like that. That was just so dope. For me, and I mean, whatever idea you have, whether it's fresh flowers, whether it's fruit, whether it's upgrading the landscape,
because they appreciate it. They really appreciate it. It's the little things, and it doesn't have to be free. It's the little things that you do. Like I'm going to install new banners. I'm going to install banisters. I'm going to put that balcony in the back. It's the little things that make them just so happy about being a tenant. My landlord cares about me. She's going to go and above and beyond to send me those flowers, to do those special things for me. And it's going to make me feel really good for being a tenant. And I'm going to want to stay longer.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody said, does this grant work if they live in their house? Could they be the tenant or?
So they are living, is it a single family or a multi where they're trying to rent out the other side?
Is that what it is? I think it's single.
No, you can still live in, it's still the occupied grants. You still can have the occupied grant to renovate the home.
Okay, so LeBaron, you heard that? So you can live in it.
You have a business. As long as you have an LLC and a business with an EIN number, yes, you can.
Okay. Hey, LeBaron. Hey, Nicole. Great Faith family on here. Okay, I think this was really good. I'm just going to say move swiftly. Many of you on here have been praying for financial breakthrough, praying for increase, praying God now, God do it. When the opportunity comes, don't sit there and procrastinate and miss your moments. Everything is about a season. You've been blessed, Shatava, there's something about early adoption. Early adopters get early benefits. That's the reality. You're an early adopter, you're going to get early benefits, but you sit there and you watch. Oh, I remember. You need to be like, I remember because I did it. I remember when Jules said, wooty woo. I remember when Shatava said, no, you need to be saying, I remember when they said, and I did.
Yes.
And I got, because this is that harvest that I believe that there is an end time harvest. I believe that there's more money moving than any other time in the history of the world. Rent is going to keep going up. Real estate is going to keep going up. It is an asset class, one of the best asset classes out of all the asset classes. You just got to move. Okay. So, all right, sister, I appreciate you getting on here. Don't forget, if you want more information, Occupy, you own the property. Doesn't matter if you have a mortgage or if it's debt free. You live in it, a tenant lives in it, or it's empty. You are eligible.
Yes.
And she's going to be submitting another round of grants on this Friday.
Yes.
You guys can be in that number. Okay. But text 615-802-7530 grant to that number. And then we'll reach out to you within the next couple of minutes, confirm some information, and then you'll be able to schedule a one-on-one with her. Shatava, I'm excited about this second round of grants, girl. We're about to get it.
About to do it. I am so excited. Listen.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Listen, also put down, we're going to be in the city of Detroit live March 29th at 10 a.m. March 29th at 10 a.m. Okay. Plan on, put that on your calendar. Plan on being at that meeting from about 10 to 1. Shatava's going to be there. Going into more detail. I'll be there. And we have some other heavy hitters that are going to be in the building. You do not want to miss it. The location will be announced. So again, just text 615-802-7530 grant if you're interested. Thanks everybody for jumping on here. Appreciate you, girl. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.